Now we're going to talk about a question. You know that Shabbos things happen by themselves, and Shviyas, right? You have to leave your what's the haftacha from Kudsha Brichu, that if you leave your field alone for a whole year, so Kadosh Baruch Hu gives you a haftacha that you'll get, right? Which I went once on a tour to Israeli farmers. It was part of the Shemitah tours. You know that they have, what's it called, Vada Shemitah or something, that they pay the farmers money to not work their fields. The guy showed us around. He showed us the field, and he showed how, first of all, he has beautiful crops that could be harvested, and he can get good money for it, and it's just sitting rotting on the field. Whoever wants to come and take. And the farmer was saying certain stories that happened by the last Shemitah, how he was mamish, he had nisim v'neflaos. He was growing, just to say over the mice, he was growing turnips. And the turnips that grew during Shemitah was like the end of Shemitah, like El time. That's when they mature. And the turnips that he was growing were not full size. They were too small. So he said, no one's going to buy this. Here, I keep Shemitah, and this is what I'm getting. Like Rosh Hashanah promised me he's going to send me all this great stuff. And then he got the turnips that if he would sell them in the market or whatever, Machane Yehuda, he would get a fraction of the cost. So, he was all tishmeted. What happened was that there was a certain organization, I don't know if it was a turnip, because it doesn't make so much sense, that they wanted to send out a certain fruit or vegetable for Rosh Hashanah, or after Rosh Hashanah. But they had, the way they had it, figured it, they designed a certain package that can only fit a fruit of a certain size. And for them to go and repackage would have cost them a fortune. So they were looking for a special fruit. I don't know if it was a turnip that had to be dafka that size. So, and they couldn't find it any place because all of them were much bigger. And finally, somebody said they knew that this guy had these. I don't know if it was turnips because I don't know what organization would send out turnips, but whatever it was. Maybe to this fan. Yeah. Anyways, so the guy was Lamaisa. They bought out his entire crop. And they paid top dollar for it because nobody else in the world had it. So he made all his money. So that's a nice.
He told the story on the trip.
The guy told us the story while we were there, and he said, "Listen, take whatever you had. Beautiful grapes. It was the best grapes I ever had in my life. How many could you eat? You're taking it right off the thing, and it's shviyah, so." Okay, v'hinei b'shviyas. I'm starting over there because there he talks about kol meleches hakarka nasis me'aleim. Everything that happens in the ground happens all on its own. Shlo yodei ma'asat tachtonim. Right. So I was asking you before. Do things grow? Page Reish Chof Dalet. Do things grow on their own? Right. So typically things don't grow on their own, but really everything grows on its own. You know yourself. If you plant a tree, I have an apple tree in my front yard. 15 years ago, it was my mussar. That apple tree is my mussar sefer. 15 years ago, I planted an apple tree. Every year, I do kamat nothing. Right? I say Birkas Ilanis. That's about the only ishtadlis I do. Okay, maybe that's the beer. It's not going to Kaf Chaim brings out that Taka is the beer. But anyways, get all the people, except for Sham, get all the people from the neighborhood. This time I had a couple of buses with kids stop, and the kids got off and said Birkas Ilanis on it. So maybe I should have a good crop. But anyways, there's no terech. It happens all by itself. Right? So, and if Hamal have to pick a fruit, so that's fine too. The main thing is that b'shviyas kol melechas hakarka nasis me'aleim. Right? You're not allowed to work it, so everything happens on its own. Shlo yodei ma'as tachtonim. U'mayin nukvin shel bir hamelachim misparim v'olim ma'aleim. And this mayin nukvin, which you all spoke about the whole time, goes up on its own. L'chein tzvichei shviyas mutarin. Therefore, anything that grows from shviyas is mutar. Right? The yosem olim ma'aleim, they go on their own. Shlo yodei ma'as ha'adam. The ground offers its own thing. V'chein kol sham malachas avodas hakarka. V'zeh she'ama v'shavsa ha'aretz Shabbos Hashem pirish ha'aretz shehi ha'malchus. As we know, Isha is karka olam, so the aretz is the malchus. Nasis pchinas Shabbos v'sheveses. It becomes Shabbos and it rests. Ve'ein malachas p'nei adam nasis oz. Ela mehalel ma'ela man lagabe zah. It comes all on its own. V'zeh she'ama Shabbos Hashem. You're not allowed to do anything. Everything it says is resting the ground. Lirmais to show us kol b'chinas shvisa zu ene elba malchus v'loy l'mayla b'menu. Everything that happens is in the karka, and that's b'chinas malchus, and not higher than that. Gam yispar tam heter yitzias tchumen b'shvius. Why are you allowed to go if tchumen is like Shabbos? And Shabbos we said is a tchum because the bottom three leave an open space, right? So it'll also explain why in Shvius, since the Malchus is staying down below, so there's no open space, therefore there's no Issa Tchum in Shvius. Afal Pisha Nikra Shabbos. In other words, what's the common denominator between Shabbos and Shvius? That they're both Asa b'Melacha in the Birur. On Shvius it's only in the Karka, and on Shabbos it's in everything. Right? That we said like by the boat. You're allowed to travel in a boat on Shabbos. The lowest spheres go up to the highest. The feet, right, which are represented by Netzach and Hoyd, they go up al gabi the karka itself, and that's Shehu HaMalchus. The feet walk on the ground, right? That's on Shabbos. The Netzach Yisai, which is connected the feet, that went up. So there's no walking on the Malchus on the ground. The Malchus stays in Tzom, Kaima. These Raglayim El Yoinim, which is Netzach and Hoyd, Ein Mehalchim Bekarka, El Lamayla Me'asara, Gavaya HaMalchus. They go up Lamayla Me'asara, higher than the Malchus. V'hu mutter. L'chein ein issa yitzias tchumen b'shviyas. Kikol halicha b'shviyas. Hulamayla me'asara. Anything going on shviyas is talking in the netzach and hoyd, which is the adam ha'elyon. Adam ha'elyon is lamayla me'asara. Therefore, there's no issa tchum. So now this is going to be the last piece, and then obviously there's 10 times more to it, but we'll do whatever we could. Okay, after Shabbos and Shvius, all the malachas are done on their own. If on Shabbos and Shvius, everything happens on its own. Shvius, it grows on its own. Shabbos, everything is done. Everything is min hamuchan. So why do we have to daven and do mitzvahs? We have to prepare two things through our davening. One is Arishani l'sakin zavinok, b'tzayit parts of ach ba'ach. We have to be masakin the two patzufim zav and nuk, which are standing back to back, and we have to turn them around to stand front to front. Kol parts of kol miyutzfiris. Every part of is coming from yutzfiris. Kivitchila hayazam and habak levad. First, the za is only coming from the shisha ktzavis, those 6 spheres, which is chesed gur teferes netzach yisai. Malchus b'hayzah b'sayt nekuda achas ketana levad, and the malchus is a little thing there. It's only in the kuda achas. The main, which is the main thing we focus on, is to bring them back. The zachar, the nekeva, the zan, the nuk that should stand panim bepanim. Kedei she'oz yizdavku. Then they'll have the zivug, v'yelidu neshamas hatachtoinim, and then neshamas chadoshes will be born. I don't know neshamas chadoshes. Saying neshamas tachtoinim. Neshamas chadoshes don't come anymore. Or b'shvi is nasa atikin harisha me'atzmai. But on Shvius, on Shemitah, it happens all on its own. When we daven, it goes back panim bepanim. Or b'Shabbos, I feel like tikkun hasheni nas me'elav. On Shabbos, it even happened. The tikkun sheni happens on its own. V'hem nechzarim me'aleim panim bepanim, and they return to themselves panim bepanim k'noida. Ki teikef b'knisas leil Shabbos chayzeres hanuk v'liyas imzah panim bepanim, which we said earlier. That all on their own they become, right, as soon as Shabbos comes in place, so then they have a yichud. They're standing in the same place, same madrega that they were b'mei hachayil. That's the mile of Shabbos. That what we have to do during the week to prepare, and all the things that we have to do, on Shabbos it happens all on its own. Which is, now you understand a little bit, this great gift called Shabbos, because we want to be Mailaman. We want to arrange for ourselves great things for Shabbos. And it doesn't mean, of course, it also means, I should say, the cholent and all the good things that we do and that we love about Shabbos, but mostly and most importantly is what we're doing for ourselves, for preparing the La'asid Lavai, which we don't see and we don't feel, but it's there. Right? This is what we are doing during our tefillah on Shabbos. We bring them up step by step to the place that they need to be. At tefillas hamincha canal, right? Tefillas hamincha, the main yichud that happens actually is Shabbos Musaf by Kedusha, but it keeps on going up madregas until mincha, and by mincha is considered Raiva de Raivin, right? Shiyu Sham b'makayim ha'elyain, b'bchinas panim b'panim, u'b'yontiv v'resh chodesh v'chodesh ha'moed, yesh b'hem gam ken aliyah zayin al dei tefillasenu v'en aliyah Shabbos. You cannot compare Yontiv to Shabbos. K'aliyas Yontiv ein k'aliyas Chol HaMoed, Resh Chodesh K'vadas Bayin Yonah Baruch M'Chayma. Okay, so there's many more chilukim. There's much more stuff, and you take the papers if you have time to do it on your own. If you want, we can come back. There's a lot to do. Mitzvah Shem, B'Zaycha, to understand everything we're learning.